still doesn't work.
Suggestion from the union. What about this? Yeah.
Put a bucket of water
Took
on
me a
it.
long time.
There's some charcoal white area.
Anything
I go to private. Yeah, but
else? Oh, listen to you.
don't tell me like
No.
she's a sweet woman. I just love her. Right.
Call the meeting back to order. All right, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting on 5/29/2014.
I so moved.
I'll second that.
Questions? All those in favor? Right hand.
Is that a unanimous vote?
Yeah. And I also need a motion to approve the minutes for June 22nd. Second.
I move. I'll second it.
Kenny? Any questions? Motion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, mayor's report.
Captain Gahagan will give us a report. It's the same thing.
Police report for the month of June 2014. There were 32 traffic citations issued with 11 warnings. 5 summary offenses issued, 3 of those harassment, 2 disorderly conduct, 2 DUI offenses.
Hey, Henry, he's giving his report.
Go ahead.
16 thefts from motor vehicle, 16 counts of receiving stolen property, also 16 counts of loitering and prowling at nighttime, and 16 counts of theft of movable property. There were 3 ordinance violations investigations that we conducted. 3 of those were with grass and brush related, and 2 of those dealing with unattended or unregistered cars. 1 with a building code building violation. Special notices out due to the warm weather and extended daylight hours. There have been marked increase in the criminal activity. If you see suspicious activity, please report it. We cannot identify the issues if they are not made aware of their existence. Please use the citizen complaint form so we're able to track those particular types of circumstances. When we have identifications that come to us later from postings on the internet or whatever else, if that's a complaint, then they need to put those onto the citizen complaint form so that we can be able to address those particular issues. And as a specific reminder, please lock your residence, your outbuildings, and your vehicles because of the activities that have been going on currently throughout the municipality. If you regularly leave your personal property open, you invite crime to come to you. So at this point in time, we just are trying to get everybody used to the idea. A lot of folks don't lock up because they've never had to in the past. And we're seeing an influx of people that are coming to the area due to warm weather, passing through at all hours of the day and night. At that point in time, we want to make sure that, you have your vehicles and your personal property locked up. In the investigation that we did with the break-ins to the vehicles, specifically, people don't think of or don't address the idea that they leave certain items in their cars, such as spare house keys, garage door openers, personal cards for fuel or whatever else. Those are things that you just plan on having in your vehicle, and if you leave that open or unattended, at that point in time, you're inviting someone to come over and press the garage door opener on an unattended home and come into your house. So please be aware and lock up your vehicles and personal property.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Anything else, Jim? All right, we'll go to committee reports. Street committee.
Well, I got some reports on the bids on the streets and that, like we wanted. And we had a man quit.
You're already advertising for it.
Yeah, we were advertised. And everything was going good. I'd like to thank Henry and you for, I guess I couldn't be reached myself, but I don't know what was wrong with it. But Henry, you know, you called, hey, Henry, and he took over, and unions are looking into that grant for Nixon Avenue. Thank you. No, Henry's gonna help me here. He has some other information maybe on that grant. So.
Okay, on the liquid fuels money.
Well, go ahead.
We tentatively had an engineer come up and give us a bid on that. We haven't put this out for bid yet because we're waiting on the grant application to be completed in Harrisburg before we put this out. We have to the end of October to worry about doing asphalt. The bid for the 3 streets that were done by Senate Engineering was $41,000 to do 3 streets. That's including Nixon and the 2 on Cleveland. Now, through this grant,
Was that actually done by Senate Engineering? or John
that was
Popper?
done by the state.
John Buckles, okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's all right.
John Poppers.
He's from state.
Then we had the grant gentleman come up and take a look at it.
He was from Senate.
And he came back with an enormous price just for Nixon.
Well, that's
That's his price.
doing quite a bit to Nixon.
But that's
just
still
not-
that's why I want to see what he comes back, what we get through that grant, so we can put it out for bid.
Well, the thing of it is, we can't, if we're gonna pay, we gotta get the bids out now. And we can't count on getting this grant. You know, probably a possibility that we're not gonna get it. So we can't look at, we're gonna get it.
Well, then we'll go ahead and put these out all for bid for the Nixon, what we want to do there.
Why, as far as Nixon, why can't we hold off on Nixon and just bid out the other 2 streets?
We can do that. It can be done that way. And we can
Because
bid
first of
Nixon
all,
out separately later on.
The total that the state come up with was $41,332. And what do we
Yeah.
have in our liquid fuels?
We don't have enough cover.
32,000, I think.
36.
Yeah, 36.
And we need out of
36.
that, we need a contingency fund for salt, which is saving between $5,000 and $8,000. So you're down to $26,000.
So you're looking at, if you take Nixon off, that's roughly $7,000 less.
Yeah. So we're down to 18,000.
Now you're looking at,
29,000.
it's all clean.
Yeah, it's all clear.
17, you're looking at 29,000.
Yeah, we got plenty of power.
29,000.
29,000.
Yeah.
So we're not
we're
gonna
still-
have much left. I mean, we'll have like 7,000 left.
That's it. You're gonna have 7,000 left.
We need that for salt.
Yeah.
So we can bid that out, we can bid the 2 Cleveland streets out. And go from there.
Kenny,
Yes, sir.
street committee, you have any opinion?
I do think that we ought to go with the Cleveland Street stuff and go ahead and look for the, grant for the grant money for Nixon. I mean, Cleveland Street's a mess from the football field up to Southern Avenue, if not further, I think past Carol's house as well. It's in bad shape. So.
Well, we're going from,
Yeah, the center section's good,
yeah,
and the two ends are bad.
yeah, the
That's
two
what
ends are
we're-
bad,
that's
yeah,
That's what we're looking at.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we gotta go with it.
We're gonna take our liquid fuel down, we're gonna have $7,000 left of liquid fuel.
Well, that has to be left for salt,
We only say 6%.
and that's what it's been done for years.
No, anybody on Cleveland wants the berms done, you know, try and
Maybe at their
contact.
expense.
Yeah, but it's at, you know, your expense.
My question to you is, did John break that up to split that up so you put the advertising in the paper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and do that. Do Cleveland Street.
Well, we have to bring it up under,
Well, that's my opinion. I retract the motion and,
right there, there's a breakdown. Anything else, Henry?
Yeah. We have a mess with the drain lines, catch basins and so forth. Catch basin, Northern Avenue, just as you go down around the hill where the springs come out. That catch basin and pipe across has to be cleaned out. I talked with a ex-council person, and he said that always had been clogged before, and he recommended which I thought of, clean the catch basin out, and then go ahead and get somebody in there with a camera and see if we can't get down through there and see if it isn't broken there somewhere where it's clogging up. That's one. Then we have Harrison Street, Harrison and Center, 122 and 118. There is a catch basin in this woman's backyard that Jim and I, or Bez and I have been up and looked at. That sewer that was put in either 1948 or 1949. And this is off of the people who live there and another old council person. There's 2 breaks in the line, and it comes down to a catch basin on Harrison. But the thing is, the catch basin's totally full of gravel.
And is there a grate on there?
There's a grate on there. It's level, the grate and the gravel are level with the road. We don't know if we're going to be able to flush that out, but we've got to first clean that out, get down to the pipe, and see what we have. And most of this work we can't do or get started until we get another member on board, another borough worker. But right now we only have 1 borough worker. And Rick has been breaking his hind end, trying to get things done, and he can only do so much with 1 man. So that's where we stand on those projects. We have a grass problem. 200.
That's something, him, that man back here.
All right, and we'll give it to both of them. I have 4 places.
That's, mayor can contact our office, and our office will go look at it.
But that's all Eddie and I have right now.
All right, thank you. How about buildings? Kenny?
All right, yeah, the building is completely finished. We got the occupancy permit week after last meeting. Actually, the meeting that was at the June 2nd meeting. We do have the permit. They're in there, the board workers as well as Captain Hagan is, they're moving the filing cabinets in, straightening up the pictures that need to be on them. There's still some cleaning needs to be done, painting needs to be taken out, but there's some issues that we're gonna have to get together on with parts of furniture. I mean, I don't know if Henry, we didn't get a chance to talk about it. You've got a list. There's probably some questions on tables if we want to get together as council or have an opinion made by Henry, because you've got a list and we might.
I've got a
do
list
that.
right here of things that have to be done in that building before. I would like to see us in there for August meeting.
Yep.
If this is done, and a couple other things that are taken care of, we could hold our meeting the 1st of August in that building.
Yeah, I think August 4th or something.
August 4th.
But if we don't get this done and a couple other things have to be repaired, we'll be back here for August again. But I'm gonna need approval to get some of this material here.
What do you want to do about a table, Ranger?
Huh?
Do you want to do anything about an executive session table for the meeting room? I mean, is anybody, I didn't see that on your list.
No, I don't have that on my list.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We can look for purchase, you gave me that book.
Yeah.
The table was $575.
Yeah, I think it's 2,500, 700.
Yeah. Now, if you're gonna go with the chairs that go with that, you're talking almost $2,300 for 3, 6, 9 chairs. Do you just want to go with a table and use just regular chairs, or do you want to go and get the whole thing?
That's the things we're looking at, the building though, right there. Good.
Well, when we get to do business, we can discuss all this, because, you know, I'm looking at, you know, if we do all that, we're gonna be spending a lot of money to furnish that. You know, I'm sure the fire department, for the interim, would let us borrow some of their tables to use up there. Why not?
I'm sorry, I'm the trustee at the fire hall. None of these tables leave this hall.
Well, you know,
I know we're supposed to work hand in hand, but there has been trouble with tables going out.
I understand
We
that,
have,
but
we have
that's-
white tables up there which can go in for council meeting. There's old wooden tables which we can bring over.
The point I'm making is, all we do for this fire department every year, they're not gonna let us borrow a couple of their tables to take up there. It's not like they're gonna be sitting outside, you know.
I'm
where
only
they're
one
at.
member of the fire department and one trustee. But I'm just telling you what the law.
I understand what the law
And
is.
so-
I understand, I belong here. I know that it pertained to, you know, members. They had old tables that we used, and somehow these ones got hot,
Yeah, they did.
and they shouldn't have been. They understand who was in as trustees at the time, and that's why it happened, you know. What I'm saying is, everything we do for this fire department, financially, taking care of the grass, they would not let us use a few of their tables.
Thing is, if we have a wedding here or something, those tables are gonna have to get back down here, because when Mickey rents this out, it's rented out on so many tables, so many people, and so forth. And do we wanna play? These tables are on sale right now at 2 different places.
We can debate about that. I mean, there's no really, the tables, we have chairs. I'm just talking about for the executive session room.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a nice room to toss a plastic table in, but, you know, I'm not saying we have to.
Temporary.
Temporarily is fine.
Yeah, form follows function, not just so we have a place to sit down and talk.
Right.
And then
Okay?
go from there.
Yeah, I mean, we can go from there, and we spent money on the building, and we're going to spend some additional money also on the building, so, you know, so be it.
Yeah,
We'll work on that a little bit.
my point is, as far as the report, I'm saying, the only thing really left is furnishing the place and cleaning it up.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, we have to,
And that's a major thing right now.
yeah, we have to make sure we, do the landscaping outside and stuff, and like, so organized stuff. Okay. Unless you have any questions?
Oh, what about the salt shed?
The salt shed, I do have some stuff here, the salt shed. I don't want to get into too many details with it. I mean, you guys are more than welcome to look at this. I'll pass it around. This is the primary. This is just a. This is actually the structure. Take a look at it. This is the same thing that you and I talked about. Henry and I talked about.
Is it the same size, or
We know we knocked it down 24 by 24, like you suggested. Remember, we went up there, it was 28 by 28. We knocked it down at 24 by 24, so the opening on the door will be 19 feet. It's actually a pole building with Jersey barriers that Henry had suggested.
The Jersey barriers go all the way up
Inside,
to the roof?
no,
no?
they go up about 8 feet.
Okay.
And then there's a 4 by 8 sheet tree plywood up to that.
Who's gonna develop the drawings to put out?
We already got them going. We should be ready to be looking at the advertisement in the paper should be prepared for this reason. For the paper, advertisement in the paper. I didn't want to say anything until I finally got everything back from Ralph from Center Engineering. But he had stopped up and gave me these, just temporary structure drawings, and said that we should have the code approval and be ready to put it in the paper by Wednesday.
Thank you, Ken.
We'll need a motion.
Yeah, if we want to make a motion, go ahead and advertise once we get the okay from Versa. That code.
We can do that, I guess, under.
Contingent on that.
Okay, I'll make the motion to do business. But anyhow, you guys will all look at all these pictures. Like I said, it's nothing that we didn't go over, Henry, up there that day when you and I were up there. The only difference is it's on paper now. You had suggested about the Jersey barriers. They're on the sides in there.
Yeah.
And we talked about a pole structure. The only difference between a pole structure and what we got there is actually a pole building, but the legs in the ground and up so far is going to be cement, and then it'll be capped with 6 by 6 the rest of the way up. Just for the salt stuff. But now it is actually considered a pole building. The metal's going to be the same color as the new building. It's going to be shingle roof, soft fascia gutters.
This bid he's writing up, did he include the fencing around here?
He did not, but we're expecting to add that on here before, when we talk to the contractor.
Well, it should be put in the bid, shouldn't it?
Well, that's what we're going to, when I talk to them before, whenever they pick up the bid sheet. The fence isn't in there yet. He already had the drawing halfway drawn up.
Well, he's got to include that fencing in the bid sheet.
Well, not really, not necessarily. It's going to be an outside company that does that. It won't be the same contract. Cyclone fence. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, chain.
Ken, is this just a gravel floor, or?
It is a gravel floor. Until we decide what we want to do with the, I don't know what we come up with concrete and stuff. But that structure there is just a pole building with a gravel floor.
Anything else, Ken?
No, and like I said, we did talk about the fence, and we did talk about that. I mean, he has his own plans on the fence. We'll get into it more, and we'll talk about this before it goes down to the paper. I think it'll be a nice structure. I don't know what you guys opinion. Henry, you're a contractor. Do you think that, you think we're overlooking anything there? I mean, it's a basic pole building. Yeah.
All right, if you don't have anything else, how about finance, insurance? Nothing, Cliff? Personnel? Any personnel in here?
No, except the inquiry's been in the newspaper for applications. We've had a couple of people stop up at the building asking about the job, told them to send in a resume and go from there.
I'd like to make one other comment on the tree committee. Well, you got community.
Yeah, well, I was gonna go to police and shade tree.
Okay.
Police? Any police, Henry?
Nothing right now.
Okay, shade tree.
Well, the shade tree, we had at last meeting, we talked to Mr. Hall and Mr. about the trees behind his property. Now, we gave him the okay as a local council on our property to go ahead and cut the trees. I'd like to retract that and say that anything on borough property cannot be permitted to be cut over there. The stuff that's on borough property look like, and this is the reason why I'm not trying to, make you upset about that, but I was under the wrong impression of the trees. I thought they were the ones on the bank. And then the property, if we own it, now, the only way we know it is to have it surveyed, but I'm not gonna cut the trees down, so the county's not gonna survey. But if they are in fact on borough property, somebody had actually planted these trees that I don't seem to think that we'll get ourselves in some trouble or raise our eyes and we let them get cut. They look like they were window of pine trees. They put them there to block the noise of traffic and stuff like that in nature. So, if anything, those trees are on Wkcm property. So, in fact, they're being planted for privacy.
Good. I have something to add after you're done.
Them being, maybe they're under the wrong impression of the trees. I thought they were the ones over the bank. But the pine trees that are up in there were planted obviously for a blind type setup. I don't want Wkcm Road to think about that.
That's borough property. But I remember, the way I remember that is, Mike was concerned with leaning trees that could possibly fall into the creek and dam it up. Is that a true straight statement, Mike?
In my building, that is correct.
Okay, so we're not talking about this row of trees. You know the row of trees that he's talking about? It's a Hoger straight line of pine trees. It's for a sound break and a sight break from Butler Road. We planted years ago. It's a borough property. But when I drive on past Nixon or on Butler Road and I look, I can see one tree that's leaning that could possibly pose a problem for you. But before you cut any trees down, I would like a site visit by you and the tree committee to look at that and see which trees you think are in danger of leaning and falling into the water. Because those are the ones you were concerned with, is that correct?
If that's the three you're talking about that are bunched together?
They're like, the ones that we looked at.
The ones we looked at.
Nancy and I looked at.
Yes.
So then Cliff needed to look at them, we
Yes.
left Ken look at them because he's.
So they're okay?
The only thing, like I said, we had talked, Mike, we had talked about pine trees. The only pine trees I've seen, we were looking at them scrub cherry trees and.
Yeah, no, the pine trees that are straight up and down.
Yeah, those somebody obviously planted those pine trees.
Yeah, okay, those are not the ones we're talking about, correct? We don't want to go up there and see those things shut down. The ones that are leaning into the creek and that pose a danger of falling into the creek are the only ones we're talking about. This row of trees that we're talking about are in no
Can we revisit
danger.
that site?
If
Can
it's-
we revisit that with you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like
Because
to.
the roots are exposed.
Okay,
I'd like
let's
to go there.
revisit that.
Because,
Okay?
being that you brought that up, even council, they were still trying to look at putting a berm or something to, route
Right,
the
and that will
water.
go in on the bid for Nixon whenever we redo that, if we get that grant and we redo that street, they will put a berm, that's part of that bid that goes in there to try to block that. The catch basins also, put new catch basins in so the water doesn't overflow, so that will help with the water coming over onto down into the creek.
So in the meantime, if I understand though, so if the tree in the meantime, until this is taken care of, if one would fall into my property, then council is taking accountability.
No, we're not gonna, if it falls on your property, you can't take it. I'm telling you that if you wanna cut them, we cannot let you cut them. But we're not, it's the shade tree committee, we're talking about, you cannot
Wait,
cut.
you're telling me, I brought up about the roots being exposed and the trees are leaning, and you're telling me okay.
Let's revisit that. Let's revisit
I
before we
respect
go
that thought,
into it.
but in the
Because we may
meantime-
all be looking and thinking of different trees, so let's revisit
But
that.
you and I know what trees we're talking about, right?
Well, the ones that you were standing at, there was like 4 pine trees.
Let's
There's
just get
3
the
or
shade
4.
tree,
Just has
let's just get the shade tree committee together, go over with it.
Let's go over it again
And we
and
can
revisit
sit here and
that,
talk
okay?
about who's this, who's gonna
Right,
pay.
let's
who's fall.
revisit that again.
And here's another thing too, Mike, it's buyer beware. When you live beside a creek, you have to you know, incur the pros and cons of living beside a creek. Look at the people in Brady's Bend in East Brady. I mean, they get flooded out all the time, okay? You brought up an establishment right beside a creek. So did Mel and Chris.
Okay.
Okay? So, and they put a lot of money, it goes down underneath their place. When you live beside a creek, there's problems that go with that.
Okay, but if you see a problem, you gotta rectify the problem. And being that I see these trees leaning,
That's why they're gonna meet with you.
Right.
We're gonna
Okay,
revisit
okay, I
that.
understand that, Bob, but I'm just trying to point out, I mean, Mrs. B had to go through the expenses, and I appreciate what she did for me. And, you know, but if you just, if it has nothing about fire, I'm aware, if you see a problem,
Revisit that.
We're gonna revisit that.
when's the revisiting gonna take?
We will have to get a date where the three of us and you and can get together.
Get with them after the meeting.
Okay, I just want you to know though, being that I brought it to council's attention, if something does happen, council is responsible.
No, let's move on, that's enough.
I wasn't arguing, Bob, I mean,
Listen,
we have our solicitor
I'm
there.
gonna tell you,
May I ask the solicitor?
you can ask them after the
Being
meeting.
that I brought it to council's attention, it's being
You can
noted.
ask them anything you want to after the meeting. You had your 5 minutes of public comment.
But Bob, Jens brought me into this comment.
Well, and I'm into it right now.
When did you open up your clubhouse, as you
Go
say?
ahead, say that.
What's that? No, that's it.
This clubhouse.
When you have to clean it up, oh, that's president.
The party plan for the opening of the new building. Our chair is Mrs. Sabone. Would you like to?
No, just, you have the notes, don't you?
Oh, yeah, we'll do too. All right, a tentative date. All right, well, first of all, I'd like to thank Mrs. Capone, Chris and Jean Camelli, Bertie McKinley, Michelle, and myself. All right.
Burdella, yeah.
And, Bردella, McKinley, for coming to this meeting. There's a lot to talk about, all right, and we had a lot of phone calls to make, and we're gonna have a short meeting after this meeting, but we're probably gonna ask for some funds from council, you know, for DJ, you know, cookies and refreshments, you know, nothing extravagant, okay, but we're gonna probably need some funds, but we're not gonna know until after the meeting what we're looking at. And, not to interrupt you, but probably, can we have a recess meeting or a special meeting? We have so much to talk about that we're trying to get this thing rolling the day before our opening.
Well, I actually, that was my plan for the recess of the meeting tonight because we got to get another borough employee hired as soon as possible. And the applications, resumes have to be in by the 14th. Once they're in, I want the street committee to start that week and start interviewing and come back with a candidate. And that's why we're
Yeah,
recessing.
okay, well, good, okay, so, yeah, we're tentatively scheduling this for August 3rd, which is Sunday, from 2 to 5. Okay? And so hopefully, I have a question for the police officer. Is it permissible for us to close off Arthur Street, from that 1 block stretch? Is it a state street? Is it a throughway? Is it a busway? Is there any reason that we can shut that off for 4 hours? Sunday. 2 to 5.
I don't see that any immediate wrong to give notice to the 911 center, that the street will be closed for a period of time, a period of time will be nothing more than like doing utility work.
Right, it's from 2 to 5, so we'll have it closed from 1 to 6. Okay, we're gonna have to ask the church, because I don't know when their church service ends, because we want to ask them permission to use their parking facility also. So that's tentative, so hopefully we have some concrete numbers for everyone at recess/special meetings. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Anything else?
But
Maybe.
Michelle did prepare a listing of our meeting, and then I added to different things that she, didn't recall. So this is a copy if you would like to have it. you have that all covered? Well, that's why I thought maybe you would
I'm
stay off of
gonna
that.
get together with the girls at the meeting, after this meeting.
She's hurting.
All right, we're gonna move
Okay.
on to
Yes.
unfinished business.
Unfinished business?
Wait, Michelle,
I hate to interrupt, and I know I'm not supposed to, but I wasn't here for the con. So is August 3rd a set date?
It's a 99%er.
tentative.
Because I need to-
Tentative 99%.
I need to know, like,
Well, can you get with them after the,
Yeah, can you meet with us after?
yeah, I just want to make sure council's.
Yeah, I don't think council, meeting, council.
Well, we'll have to do it at your next meeting.
Yeah, that's just the allocation of funds.
all right, we're down unfinished business. We need to have a motion to advertise for bids for the salt shed. We need a motion for bids for paving.
I'll make a motion that we put a bid out for the salt shed. Contingent upon.
Yeah, what, yeah, the,
Bid package.
If it is approved by the code,
by the code officer.
Question on the motion? All those in favor? Okay. Paving.
Wait, we still under unfinished business?
Yeah. Paving is unfinished business. Okay,
There's some highlighted things there. We have a question on the paving.
yeah, that's Nixon Street, we're gonna take that out. That's why I highlighted.
No, I highlighted that.
Huh?
I highlighted.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Because it's still on there. and it was
Yeah,
said that it was
that's why
divided.
she's just adding up the other two.
Okay. 30,425. But nothing worth that. They have to redo that, right? They have to give you a push up.
Well, you
It
have-
is.
You
Okay.
didn't have to say,
No.
just these two.
30,425.
Jenny, you want to make a motion for paving?
Yeah, I would make a motion, I just don't have that paper.
Oh.
I would like to make a motion, we go ahead and put out the big Cleveland Street paving project.
Here, the two sections that had originally
Yeah.
gave us last
Cleveland,
meeting.
Center Avenue, Cleveland, to Southern Avenue.
Yeah, well, yeah, Cleveland,
Central and Northern.
my bid's gonna be for Cleveland and Central and Northern Avenue.
Central, Northern, and Southern.
Cleveland?
Yeah, the center sections of that.
No. Well, it's from Central Avenue to Northern Avenue. Cleveland Street.
Yes.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. And Cleveland Street from Southern Avenue to First Avenue.
There you go.
I'll second.
You second that?
Yeah.
All questions? All those in favor, right hand?
The only question I have on this is, these are two different spots, like, they're picked up together. Does this just have, did
No
they get?
berms. No berms. Anybody who wants the berms done in front of their place will contact the contractor who was there, and they will pay for it themselves.
I mean, that's what we did in the past.
Well,
I think-
that's what it's gonna be this time.
Yeah, Northern Avenue last year. we did.
On any other unfinished business? Go ahead.
Concerning the new building, I have a list here of items that should be purchased to go ahead and clean the building, and items that are going to be needed to maintain the building in the future. There's nothing up there right now. Like brooms, mops, we need entry rugs at the doors. It's just regular household items that are needed for that building, even though it's only going to be needed once a month or twice a month. You have to maintain it. And we have nothing in-house right now to do anything.
Do you have
with it.
a price for it?
Well, on, I have a tentative price. If we want to go ahead with the entry rugs and rent them from stalls, their rental for it's $6 a month that they pick them up every month. But we don't need them picked up every month. There's not that much traffic in that building. So I asked Jim to pick them up every 6 months or as needed. And that comes down to like $25 to 60 cents for the 5 rugs that will be up there to be picked up and cleaned. But then we need like toilet roll cleaning, $4 and something. We need a floor mop, $16. We need a broom, we need a dustpan. We have a slop bucket. We need plates, we need rags, we need toilet paper. We need another paper towel dispenser and soap dispenser in the kitchen. There's nothing there. I was up there today, I've been up there almost every other day.
Do we have a company that we order from?
No.
Okay, is this something that we can get to with the building committee and just purchase it? Don't we have a lot of them out to purchase?
This is mostly is all get being gotten through stalls cleaning.
You have a
Cleans
total
here.
price?
Huh?
A total price?
Well, the initial price, I don't have what it costs for this.
And we're not going to buy the toilet paper and stuff off of them, are we?
No, the items that are needed, like toilet paper, hand soap and so forth, will be bought individually.
Yeah.
The soap dispenser and the hand soap is through Tom Craig over in Butler. I found a box that whoever installed them up there left. So that has to be bought there. A lot of these have to be bought outside. It's a small item like toilet paper.
That can be bought, for a boy, he can get that.
Well, we can go out
You
to
buy it for the
Food
maintenance
Land or
shed.
somewhere and get it.
Yeah. So we can take that off the list.
We mean that the board employees in the back.
That's what they buy stuff for the bathroom and the board maintenance shed.
Well, yeah, they go out to Food Land or
Yeah.
outside the James or out to the cheap shop and get it. And, you need dust rags, you need what I call feather dusters, so you can dust take it up to the cabinets off and so on. Those are small items that nobody knows what they are, and you send them out there to get it, you might as well forget it. You need somebody who's cleaned the building and knows what they're doing.
So my question is, what do you have on there that we need right now? Okay.
And
Do you have a
everything right here.
total
Give us a
price?
number, Henry, I'll make a motion.
I don't have an individual price
That's what
for
we need.
small items.
A councilman can buy up to what, 200, or one of those $500?
Well, the first items that I have here for the rug, the floor cleaner, the dustpans and mops and so forth is $107.41.
Will they do our windows?
No,
No,
the borough employee will do the windows.
Are they gonna do the cleaning also?
Who,
Are
Star?
we gonna
No,
advertise for
borough-
a cleaner? Or the borough employee's gonna
The
clean it
borough
up?
employees are probably gonna clean it. There's a special floor cleaner that has to be gone. They have to show them how to use that. We don't have a buffing machine up there.
All right, well, let's do it this way. You know, the borough employee, you get with him, you can purchase this. You have it, according to Katie?
Yeah, it's well under $500.
Yeah, it's
Don't buy a
All
buffing
right.
machine, no.
Huh? No, not the buffing machine. I said,
We can rent that out every now and then, or.
yeah, well, Stalls comes here and strips this floor and buffs it and waxes.
How much is it?
$1,100.
Somewhere around there, 800 or so.
Really? Okay. That's a big area.
A lot bigger area.
All right, you can get with Rick, and get this stuff, get it in there.
Yeah.
Cliff,
It's needed.
did you have something else?
Under unfinished business?
Yeah.
Yes. First of all, the time has run out that we need to make a decision on who is going to be the web administrator for the Wkcm website. At this point, I'd like to make a motion that Michelle Bubbly retain, start back the website, and to be paid a sum of $25 a month. So be moved.
If she's okay with that, I'll second it.
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that. Before we sign or make any final agreements, I'd like to suggest that there be some sort of agreement written up between council and myself.
A signed contract type?
Yes.
can you do that, Mr.
It was that it was always about protecting the interests of the borough. I didn't want to just give over the website to somebody else for whatever. It was about protecting the borough.
You wanna add
So
that?
I would like to see us do that.
Yes, amend the motion to include a contract, a signed contract for council and Michelle Bubbly, web administrator, as written by our solicitor, Andrew Sacco.
And again, I'll second that motion.
Questions on the motion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed?
That is passed, motion.
All right. Any other unfinished business? Go ahead.
In 2011, our prior team of auditors turned in the audit for 2010, as well as turning in their resignation. So at that time, council discussed going with an outside audit firm, since we did not have any auditors. And we have an ordinance here that was enacted and ordained on the 19th of December 2011 to advertise for outside auditors. We never did, we received but never did come to a general consensus on an outside audit firm. So I make a motion that we re-advertise for an audit firm, outside audit firm for the borough of Wkcm.
Yeah, coming in.
Yes. And due to the fact that this will have to be in the form of a resolution, then the solicitor will have a resolution typed up. And if and when we do, please, if and when we do choose an auditing firm, it'll be included in that resolution.
Is this something we can do?
30 days before they.
That must be done 30 days prior to the year.
I'll second that motion, but before we go on to take a vote, I'd like to ask their solicitor, is this something we can follow up with and adopt at the next meeting? Or is it going to be?
No, the resolution.
You're gonna have to have someone, I mean, you can't just hire somebody.
No, I'm saying the resolution be ready to go ahead and put it in.
Get the bids first. I mean, we
Yeah, it's
advertise for
we have
bids.
to advertise for
Yes.
these bids, I mean, you can't, it's not something that I would.
And does the resolution have to be advertised for, how long is it?
We don't have to, we just appoint.
Oh, it doesn't have to be advertised at all.
After you advertise for the.
So if we decide at the next meeting, on an audit firm, you could have a blank line there that says Wkcm hereby
I mean, as
appoints.
long as you guys agree on it.
Yeah, well, no, and the, it also has to be approved by more than just the majority of council. It has to be approved by how many?
It's the majority plus one.
Majority plus one.
I'll second the motion.
Do you have to advertise for bids for the auditors?
You can just call it, it's up to you. I mean, you might get more by advertising.
We
you
can
have
contact
someone
them.
contact, yeah, you can.
My
contact
motion,
them.
my motion was to advertise.
Okay.
Okay.
Second that, Ken.
Yeah, I did so.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Yes.
Yes, we are.
What you bring up about that?
Yeah.
That's new business. That's new business. Okay,
2022.
well, it is new business. All right, as far as, this is unfinished business, I want to bring up these ordinances we have as far as the burning ordinance and the sign ordinance. Where are we at?
I've been working on the burning ordinance, and I sent it to our solicitor. He looked it over, he's added some stuff, now I have to look it over again and see if I forgot anything, and at that point, then I'll pass it out to council, have everybody at council look at it, and then they can reenact it as soon as everyone reads it and
What
agrees.
about the sign?
And there's nothing in the sign ordinance yet.
Haven't done anything?
No.
Think you can get to that by August meeting?
I doubt it, but we'll try, no promise.
I'd like to get it done.
I'd like to get that burning ordinance.
Yeah, I'd like to get
Get
both
this
of them.
one done, because we're really working hard on this one.
Yeah,
Get
and
that one done,
it's,
then
like I
we'll
said,
work
we
harder.
do have a sign ordinance, it just needs to be
Well, amended,
looked at.
yeah. But I'm just afraid we're gonna get into a problem
I know.
with a lighted sign again somewhere in the
I know,
borough.
okay. I get as many complaints about burning as I do as there's the sign.
So if, I have one question. If you guys get your thoughts together and change this burning ordinance, our solicitor will have copies that we can take a look at and, to send them to, we have to advertise obviously for X amount of time before we can adopt, but, we can do that at the next meeting then. Wow.
I got a question. While you're